I would like to welcome Mr. Hamid Wasifi from HP. Hamid has been working in the software industry for the last 30 years. He has wide experience in many different continents in the world. And with regards to HP, he's been with HP Timing for the past couple of years. So I'd like to give the floor to Hamid.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. So thank you for the organizer. Thank you for the audience. So I'm working for HP company. So since 20 years now. I started design software for several purposes before internet and before social media. At that time as well, information was a challenge, and mainly at that time the challenge was how we can exchange information. Now the challenge is more about understanding information because the volume is so big that it is very difficult to understand information. And without understanding the information, we can do nothing because any decision is based on what we understand. So if we don't understand, we can only guess and we cannot decide properly. So inside HP, this is a very big topic like big data and data mining for business purposes. Because any organization processes information and this volume information is very big. And main part of this information is human-friendly information. Made something that is a text, is a video, audio file, or something that human exchange between each other, or a document. So when you have databases, it's more application exchanging information. And when you have a database, basically you have value in a cell. And it's more easy and the tools are more mature to process this kind of information. So if the value of this cell is this one, then I do this. So you can predict and you can know exactly what you should do in this circumstance. But for human information, you need first to understand this information in its format. So I have a few slides to tell you our view on this subject inside HP. So I prepare a very short agenda. So very short, sorry, I come back. So very short agenda. First, what means data mining for us in the industry and the challenges we see. And the second thing is some use cases, practical use cases from the industry. So in our side, so data mining basically is the analysis of information to extract information, of data, sorry, to extract information and knowledge. So at the end, when you have raw data, the goal is to be able to use this data in our work. And our work, what is our work? In fact, it's very easy. Every day what we are doing, all of us at any level, we create information or we capture information, we exchange this information, we try to understand it, and then we act or we decide based on the understanding. So at the end, the understanding is very important because if you have the raw data and you cannot go from the raw data to a knowledge to I know, so I can act, then it's useless. All this information is only a cost and it's not a strength. So with the volume, this becomes very challenging. So this is why data mining is very important to be able to process automatically this information because the human brain cannot process this volume. If it's simple information, then we can do it with our brain, it's manual. But when we speak about volume, then it's difficult. I will give you an example. So then came the data mining technique. When I say data here, I speak about all the data from general perspective. So it can be structured information or semi-structured information that can be database or XML file, or it can be unstructured information that can be transaction data between machine, because machine exchange between each other. When you have bank transaction, there is some information generated out of this. And there is human-friendly information like speech, like video, like text, like document, this kind of stuff. So all of this is data. So there is techniques and algorithms, and the doctor present here spoke about some techniques, some algorithms to mine text mainly, or speech, and to try to extract meaning or knowledge from this information. So at the end, we want to understand automatically. This is why we spoke about semantic analysis and this kind of thing. At the end, the goal is to understand. Otherwise, it doesn't. We don't need all this. So there is several algorithms. There is simple algorithms that are not based on relevance or meaning, but more on popularity, like what you see when you go to the web to search something. If you go to Google, you will search a word or keywords, mainly based on keywords. And most of the time, you find what you are looking for. Why? Because they are using the PageRank algorithm that allow to give more weight to something which is popular. And if it's popular, there is big chance that this is what you're looking for, because we are all looking for the same thing. Now, if you go to Google and you look for something that nobody is looking for, you will not find it, because nobody has done the work to give the right weight. So each time you click on a link, you increase the weight of this link. Next time someone click, so we are doing the work to make it relevant, not because the algorithm is based on relevancy, but on popularity. And there is other algorithms that help to understand more the concept behind the work. And this application, so there is several techniques and algorithms. Now, there is a lot of application data mining in the day-to-day life and in all the verticals. In retail and distribution, in financial services and insurance, in consumer goods, in government, for security or other use cases, healthcare, education, in communication, media, entertainment domain, research, and so on. So all these domains, they process information. They are doing the same thing. They are not processing the same information, don't have the same goal, but they process information and try to understand it, to take decision or act on it. That's it. They are not doing more than this. The information is not the same. This is the only difference. The data source is not the same, and maybe the technique is not the same to process. So now, if I go, so we spoke, there is several, I think there is something wrong there because of the resolution that I will explain. So in the information we are processing, if you look at any organization worldwide, the statistics say that 90% of the information exchange are either human information or machine data. It's not business data. The business data are only 10%. And business data is, for example, ERP system or database information, this is only 10%. And for this 10%, normally the tools to process this information are mature enough to be able to give us the right outcome of the understanding for this information, to take the right decision or act right. But for the 90%, then this is different. This is where the problem happens, because when you speak about human-friendly information, you have mixed formats. Sometimes you have mixed languages. We heard about this. And especially if you have a corporate organization with, I don't know how many language inside the company, it's very difficult to process all this information. It's changing constantly. It's difficult to correlate. So the challenges are bigger than the structured information. And this is one of the main challenges, because this is growing faster than the structured information. The growth rate is 62% compared to the business data that's 22%. And when I say human-friendly energy data, I mean anything that is not business. So you have a big variety, it's growing fast, and the volume is big. So then we come to a big data issue. But when you have big data, you cannot process it manually anymore. If I take an example, if you have, for example, a call center, you take a simple example, a telecom provider like STC Mobile, they have a call center. I don't know how many thousands of agents they have. Every day, you have people calling. Per month, maybe there is 3 million calls. Customers are calling them. The contact center. They say things, maybe bad, maybe good. But when you call in general, this is a bad thing. If everything is fine, don't call. They may call you. But you only call when you are not up or you want something. So they cannot listen manually to all these calls. There are too many. But it will be very important to know what are saying people, because if you know, we come to the word know, if you know what they're saying, you know what you have to do. But if you don't know, you are guessing. If you guess, then your business is intangible because you don't act based on fact, but based on guess. So this is not the right way. You are not in the control of your data and your destiny. So the most important thing is to understand this information. And this applies, I told you, to all the verticals. And there is several use cases. For knowledge management, for risk management, for fraud detection, for marketing optimization, for security threat detection. So in all the industry, you will need to understand the information. There is no industry or no vertical where you don't need this information. This is a common problem for all the industry. So and the shift now in the trend in the market is, until now you have the business application in the middle, and around at the edge of the business application, you have the, I would say, the analytic tools that allow to try to understand at the edge what does it mean, what we should do. I need a dashboard, I need a report. At very high level, decision maker, they say, give me a dashboard, very high level. A report, I want to decide based on this. At any level, you need this. At top level, they need summary of the information. They cannot read all the information. So now, tomorrow what will happen is that you will have the analytic in the middle and the business application page. Because the main topic now is understanding information to be able to decide and act properly. At any level, for any business, I mean, it can be the top decision maker or it can be engineer. You have to decide in your life what you are doing. You exchange information, you try to understand it, and you decide. Big decision or small decision, this is what you are doing, or you act, nothing more. So inside HP, so there is a specific software division that is focusing on information management and analytics. And HP developed through acquisition and is investing a lot of money in information management and analytics. So one of the platform we have as HP is, we name it IDOL, which means information data operating layer. So what is this? This is a single data layer that will connect to data sources. And there is connectors. So why we have so much connector? Because if you process only one kind of information, you may have a partial view of your business or the problem. It's like what we spoke about spam before. The only way to fight against spam automatically is the volume information, the variety of the information. The more you have the volume, the more you have variety, the more you have the clear view and the global view. If you are in the small view, you may be wrong. So the statistic view of the issue and the variety give you the relevance. It's like when you go to social media, if you process only a small part of the social media post, you will not have the real view. The more you check volume, it will be relevant. So if you connect to all the data that are maybe email or database or social media or ERP system or CRM, I don't know, I speak on the business side. It can be online news, it can be broadcast TV channel that are video, it can be anything in any format. There is several formats of information. The more you connect to this, the more you will have a global view. And the more you are global view, the more you are relevant and the more you can understand. So, and near the connector, there is what is important is the format you can understand. Because in the real life, you will have several formats. When you say video, a video can have a lot of format. How you process all this format? Same for an audio file, same for text, same for all the kind of data you have to process. So you need to be able to open any kind of file, to extract the raw data, to process it and to try to extract the concept behind the word, because the doctor spoke about the linguistic approach and the challenges. It's really challenging, especially with the slang and everything we see on social media now. There is a specific language. Even in SMS, if you go to SMS, you will see before social media, this slang were in the SMS. People to make it short, because they can only send few characters. They cannot write with one finger, big sentences. They put abbreviation and this kind of thing. So all of this make it more challenging. So if you base all your analysis purely on linguistic approach, it's very difficult with the volume. So you have to use probability here as well, and to be able to find the probable meaning of a word according to the context and what happened before. So here basically what we are using inside this platform is algorithms. There is more than 170 patented algorithms done by HP to process the information according to the context. So mainly it's using primarily Bayesian and probability and channel information theory, but there is 170 algorithms. And for Bayes, for example, it calculates the probability of reoccurrence based on frequency or prior occurrence. Because if you do pure statistic and you take one coin and you turn it like this, after 99 times it's one side. What is the probability to have the other side at the 100 times? Normally, through standard probability, you will say 50%. It's 50%. You have half chance to do this or half chance to do this. But if you use Bayes theory, you will say no, 100% will have the same phase because there is something wrong. If it's always the same, it means there is the context gives you what should happen. So this is what you have to use to have this practical approach. So I will go through some use cases, real use cases, to give you some example of how we use this technology. So, for example, how to monitor broadcast media for intelligence awareness automatically. This is an example for a large US intelligence organization. So what they want to do, basically, they say, we want to see what are saying people over the world on TV channel in several languages, what they think, what they say about us, what we should do, because what they want to know, because to be able to act and do the right message to the people. So it's very important. Everything is about propaganda and the way you marketing your image and the way you position yourself in the world. So you need to know, especially in politics, you need to understand how you are perceived here and outside. So the more you know, the better you can prepare your speech and say the right thing to the people, what they expect you to say. So they will process a lot of channels, and they need to understand automatically. So they cannot have an army of people watching the TV, transcribing it, and so they use this system to do what? Like to connect to the TV channel, to transcribe the speech to text, and then to analyze the text and extract, for example, entities like location, like people, like organization, to extract topics, the hot topics, to extract the trends, to extract the sentiment about specific aspect, and to identify the influencer. Who is influencing the information? Where is the influencer? If you know where is the influencer, you will focus your target for the message will be the influencer, because you know that if you can target the influencer and change the mind of the influencer, everything will change. Most of the people follow. They are not creating I will say the opinions. They are following. 90% of people follow. 10% maybe or less will create an opinion, or we have a strong view on the subject. So you have to focus on is who are they, you know, or who are the organization with this. So this is why they were using this. Basically, the data mining here will add several aspects. First, they may need to recognize faces. So it's not only about text mining, it's video mining, video analysis. How I recognize a face. Maybe they wanted to know each time there is this face on any channel, I want to have an alert. I want to know how much time this guy is on TV. Because this gives you an indication about the propaganda or the way people communicate. So I want to know, for instance, what are the text inside the image. So you have to extract. So this is more OCR. So you have to recognize the text inside the image or the video. You want sometimes to recognize as well the speaker. You not recognize the speaker, but identify how many speakers you have and how many change. You want to have frames as well to identify all the frames in a video. So there were several functions that were used to create the function they want, that is mainly intelligence. I want to know what is the subject, what it is about, who is the influencer, when, to be able to predict or to decide about what I should say or what I should do. Other example, this is leverage social media for security. This is Metropolitan Police in London. They use this during the London Olympics Games to prevent security issues. This is only another use case. So the objective was real-time awareness of potential security threat during the Olympics. So they have done data mining on 20 sources, online sources, that can be blogs or social media. For example, they processed per day during the event 2 or 3 million tweets per day. The opening, for the opening, it was more than this. So this is the average. For the opening, it was maybe between 3 and 4 million. Thanks to processing this information, they were able to connect between intelligence targets. For example, you have an event and you have another. Through social media analytics or data mining, you can make the link. You say this is related to this, or you can try to find witnesses for something that happened, because people communicate on social media. And you will find, I'm looking for this event, and any discussion about it, you will find who's saying what. So you can detect if someone can be a witness, you can detect it, and then you can contact the guy to testify about this, and so on. So, and you can identify the influencer about and the sentiment of the people about what is going on. It's not only security, but also the reputation. If there is something wrong that people complain about, they should act on it from security perspective or from the government perspective. So it's very important to try to, this is what they have done in the Metropolitan Police. Another example is a bank, is in Turkey. Here it's more for how to monetize the information. So you can monetize the information. If you understand it, you can monetize the information. So the goal here is to understand the live sentiment around the bank's offering and those of its competitors. The goal is to say, what do they like about my offering and what they don't like, what you were saying. Sometimes it's not so easy. And other time is for my competition, what they like and what they don't like. The goal is to say, they like this on my side, they don't like this on their side. So, or they like this on their side. So I will do what they are doing to attract, and I will focus on what they like, and I will stop what they don't like. So this can give you direction, and you can decide. Because if you don't know, you cannot decide. Once again, it's only decision, and all the algorithm is decision tree and this kind of thing. It's how I can predict or know what I should do. So from business perspective, it's very important. You need to know what is inside the information to act. And then they can tweak their messages. So it applies to business, it applies to politics, it applies to everything. This is the same issue, how I communicate. Or I position the offering, or my speech. Another example in telecommunication is understand the customer interaction through the call center. This is what I was discussing before. I have a call center, million of calls. What is going on? I don't know. Because when you call any contact center, call center, you will see the message you have is, this call may be recorded for quality or training purposes. That's it. And what they do with the record? Nothing. They will take one for training, one on 1 million, or sometime if someone, a VIP user, is calling and complaining, they will try to find the record of his call to see what happened, what was wrong. But most of the time, it's stored. They pay money to store it. That's it. So they don't use this information. And you have, this is gold information from business perspective, because if you know the frustration, you know the trends, you know the issues, you can immediately act on it because you will have the big picture. You don't need to act on individual. It doesn't make sense for a business to act on individual. Only for very VIP user or big customer. But in general, what they do, they need to understand global, what customer want, what they don't want, what they like, what they don't like. What should I do to keep them and take more? So this is the question. So if you don't have data mining tool, you cannot do it because the volume information is too big. You cannot have an army listening to all the code. Forget it. So you need the system that will transcribe all the code and then analyze the text, the result of the translation. And here for voice, I would say speech analytics. So there is several parameters. Of course, there is the property of the word stream, and there is the acoustic part of it. So, and this is you do I would say mitigation between the two parameters. How probable this acoustic signal is this word, knowing the context of the speech we have. Another use case is understanding risk. For example, reinsurance company. What are the risks? Processing the data distributed across different contact, geography, sector, and section. How I detect the risk? Because if you don't have a proper governance of the information, you may not comply to regulation or to policies, and you will be in danger. Your business may be in danger. So governance of the information is very important. Now the volume is too big. If you don't have proper governance, you may fail because of the impossibility to be compliant to the regulation. This is the last one. Okay, last example is how I can use analytics on video surveillance. And we have several use cases here. So when you have one camera, you can have one guy watching the camera. He will be focused on it. The screen, he will see one screen or two or three or four maximum. He can focus. He can detect what is going there. If you have 100 image in the screen, nobody human being can watch everything at the same time. Doesn't help. Sometimes you see some movie, you have one guy in front of him, you have 100 screen. Doesn't help. It's not efficient at all. So the only way to be able to monitor for several use cases all the screens is to do it automatically through mining, through video analytics, and also audio analytics. When I say audio, sometimes you have some mics on the camera. You will not detect the speech because when you have camera outside, it doesn't help to try to catch the speech, but you can detect, I will say, audio signature that may tell you about a possible problem, like gunshot, like shouting. You can detect this signature. And then you can say, there is a problem. I should send an alert to the agent. So here you have several use cases: railway crossing, safety, you have public area safety, vehicle identification, object tracking. So object tracking then now is different because, for example, you have the plate of one car and you have several cameras in the city. You can say, I want to follow this car in the city. In each camera that captures this plate number, I will track. And I will put the timestamp. And I will know during the day where this car is going and going back and everything. And you can do this day after day, and maybe one day this will change, and you will say, this is not normal. Maybe I should have an alert. So there is several use cases that can use to track to use this for analyzing for security reasons. So I will stop here, but globally, data mining is used in all the businesses and all the verticals and all the use cases. So you will find it everywhere. So it's a big need, and most of the time, the industry is basing all these softwares they're doing on the research and academic research. Right? They don't invent, they take what the academic are doing and they try to apply to the real life. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not playing. Go ahead.
It's not playing. Thank you for that. Very nice. Just I want to notice what is the position of HP autonomy compared? How you can compare this island to what I want to say? Not necessarily the leader in the market, but if you compare with the miner, IBM SPSS, or IBM miner. I want to say that some leaders already exist. But it seems for me it's new. HP working on this. So what is your market share, or what is your position compared to this?
Okay. So for people to understand here, first, HP acquired autonomy. So it was not HP it acquired it in 2011, and HP acquired autonomy, not only autonomy, like IBM acquired Rust company, all these big corporate company, either they develop through R&D and labs, or they acquire company. So HP acquired autonomy and Vertica and other company to build, I would say, big data analytics suite of solution, because this is the trend of the market, and if you are not there, so this is what they are looking. All the businesses are looking for big data analysis. So they acquire autonomy for a simple reason. If you look at the offering of other company, you have Oracle that come from the structured information. They are very strong in this. They were in database, structured information since the beginning, and they try to go beyond this boundary. You have IBM, this is a good company, and they try to acquire a lot of company to integrate to provide a big data offering. So HP acquired autonomy because IBM. So what is different is that it processes any kind of information. It's not only, you don't have silos. And the problem in any organization is the silos. If you start to process the information in silos, you will not have the global. This is what I say. So IBM is doing is connecting to audio, video, text, anything, database, any kind of information, and any kind of data repository. Because you have the data repository and you have the file type. So we can connect to business application, to online information, to TV channel, to CCTV camera, through the same platform at the same time. So you process all this kind of information, you don't have this in. And at the end, we can process all the file type. Why it is important? Not only to open the file. If you want to view, then you have to display. If you want to view any file format, you need the native application. If you don't have the native application, you cannot open and display the content. With this technology, for the file type, we can display the content without the native application. So we have more than 1,000 file type. It means we can display the content without the native application. So you don't need to have 20 applications to open it. For example, a PDF file is very easy. If you don't have the native, if you cannot read it, you need to open Acrobat Reader to read it. We don't need. So all of this make it unique from this perspective. If you do data fusion, it means you can consolidate all the data sources. You will have what they say, the 360 view, not only a partial view. And if you have a partial view, you have partial part of the truth, not all the truth, and you cannot decide based on this. This is what we are doing. For example, some company processing only the structural information. If you do only this, you decide it's accurate, but you decide on 10% of the information. So from business perspective, it's not what they expect. They expect to understand all the information.
Thank you very much. I would like to present you with this shield. Thank you very much for being with us all this time.